Okay, we will continue our this kind of discussion through another topic. Now, I'd like to move to the second session, that's ecotourism supported by political will. So it's connected to the previous session. So let's continue our the wondering and question and sharing our opinions. So first speaker is Ghana Damba. So let me introduce him. The Ghana, you can share your screen for the presentation. Dr. Ghana Damba is an advocate of sustainable tourism development and leader on strengthening the network of tourism practitioners and researchers in Mongolia and the neighboring regions. He has done significant research work focusing on developing tourism as the core engine of competitive economic diversity, supporting local livelihoods and conservation of nature and culture across the country. He's a founder of the leading tour operator company named Active and Adventure Tours Mongolia. He has 30 years of expertise and experiences in tourism in general and ecotourism, working in Mongolia and overseas, including Asian and European markets. He is currently the governing board member of the Asian region at the World Association of Travel Agencies and several national professional organizations. Now, stage is yours, Ghana. Anna?
Oh, sorry. Oh, oh, I am confused. Now I hope that you guys can listen me, right?
We can see, and you need to make it a slide mode.
Oh, okay. Slide mode. Where is it? Slide mode.
F5.
F5. Thank you for your teaching.
You're welcome.
How about now?
Great.
Okay. Great and great afternoon. Good afternoon, and ladies, gentlemen, all of our friends. Very warm greetings from very cold country right now, -30, and that's the sustainability of climate change. Well, the government of Mongolia very much happy to develop tourism, especially ecotourism, due to the one of the main key role objectives, that is our country is very much dependable from the mining-based economy. We have a huge mining areas. So in order to diversify the different economic sources, the tourism is one of the biggest role to play. And due to our natural and cultural resources, the ecotourism, especially eco-friendly way of tourism development, is very much, demanding. So we have the policy vision 2050, and of course the COVID impact and all other things are influenced. And so government is talking with some international organizations like UNDP, PAGE project, etc. So due to the reason of the local, empowering the local people, strengthening the local resources, but combining with ecotourism principle, and then the UNDP together with other international donor agencies are cooperating together to develop a concept called Ger and Nature. Ger is the name of our traditional accommodation. Some people call it yurt. So Ger represents a kind of culture or local people, and then nature and combination way of model. So based on this kind of example, we can learn that it's very important not only government, but key stakeholders of the tourism requires all different international agencies should cooperate together, because the World Bank, Asian Development Bank, UNDP, or a European agency, they have all their own agenda. In the end, the local people can become kind of the product for all of them. So not having the different kind of directions we have requested from through the government, let all of the international organizations cooperate together to be conceptualized. So this is the kind of initial concept, what we agreed, Gary and Nature, based on the different tourism principles like community-based tourism, culture tourism, rural tourism. Of course, ecotourism is key, and based on sustainable tourism development principles. That's why the scope of the concept of Gary and Nature model is based on the green economy opportunity and sustainable development solutions. And it would be new concept, we call it nomadic tourism product. And it is very much in line with the vision and mission of the country development, especially the regional competitiveness of the livelihood. There are key products of this kind of concept. Of course, the same is like other countries, like accommodation service or the hosting and the active adventure tour products. For example, a lot of people talk about bird watching, and we have also, Mongolia is one of the very special country for the rare birds of the earth. So, but bird, how is it the contribution level of the bird watching to the local economy, to the local conservation, and also local tradition? That's our main concept. And there was a lot of discussion because due to bird watching, it is very much supported by the four-wheel drive, which is not less support from the local people and nomadic people. Instead, horse riding, camel riding, a kind of even discussion of how about the hunting, which level, which extent, which limitation we should do that. And also cultural experience together with nomads was very much key products of this concept. Well, we have divided it core and augmented products, and who are the stakeholders of each of the places and what are the impacts of them into the local area. So 3 pillars of the concepts are herders themselves, are key. So a lot of people are talking about just how to success ecotourism in the region. My belief is very much cooperation with the local people, herders, strengthen them action implementation together with their traditional way of economic sources, and certification, which including guideline, what our previous people talking about this guideline, but this guideline not necessarily be only expert-oriented guideline, but we very much promote about herder-oriented, which means the local people are experts to write it down, the guideline. So this is the value chain, and we would very much like to promote ecotourism segments in line together with mainstream tourism. Without that mainstream tourism's infrastructure involvement and support infrastructure is also including the IT and investment. Ecotourism alone impossible to our countries to develop. The second very important key point is what we call a local tourism coordinator. So we have learned a lot of mistake from community-based tourism approaches, what we have done in our country, which means directly involvement between the big tour operators and communities are failed. So the local tourism coordinator means an entrepreneur person who is a matching, bridging between the local people and the market, in fact. And we are talking now about how to use the IT technology or shared economy model into the nomadic tourism, how we can able to use digitalization for that. So in generally, they have to affect the tourism, ecotourism to the local people in order to reach the main goals, achievements between the direct, indirect, and induced impacts is like that. And one of the main messages, what I want to say is, our approach is ecotourism will be integrated with the traditional economic sources of the nomadic people, rural people. That means the milk industry or sector, crafting, wool and cashmere, meat or livestock. These are also a key multi-economic sectors which support let ecotourism be developed together with them. So the local tourism coordinator can be also the agent of the wool or meat sector, who is experienced in the value chain between the local people and main market. Second, very important key point for us is the pasture. Pasture means the spatial land use management. That's why zoning is a key to develop. And basically we have bringing land use spatial zoning contract with the local people, nomads, and the government, local government and central government, and tour operator, between three stakeholders to make it special zoning management contract. So that makes sustainable guarantee for the local people. They can be strengthened by diversity or cultural diversity and promote conservation of the nature. And also we are talking about taxation system on the ecotourism. So in fact, the eco-friendly sectors, which means meat, milk, wool, and crafting, integrating with the tourism as a ecotourism through the local agent called local tourism coordinator. So that's our main model and have to be implemented. First, we have a developing national council, which is near the Minister of Tourism, next to the Minister of Tourism, which including stakeholders of all the regional governors. These should provide key condition let ecotourism to develop. So they can promise that they will have the sustainable, stable land use planning, which will be planned, monitored by the nomadic people, local people. And second, every region has kind of the branch of this council, but it is not necessarily that everywhere can be developed. So we are not based on the ecotourism resource to develop the tourism market, but we try to develop based on the ambition, passion of the political and the business, and including local people's wish and will. So second is standard certification, which includes also the guideline and establish the local branches. Of course, what Michael also mentioned, trainings are very, very key after the actions. And then we are very much promoting the business sector, especially local business sector, including gas stations, camps, shops, and IT companies to develop the ecotourism together with others. So Our passion to develop nomadic tourism is led to strengthen competitiveness advantage by unique sales proposition and high quality products and investment, sustainable industry as a whole, spread benefits, build brand identity. Thank you so much. I hope I managed with the time.
You did a great job in time. Actually, 1 minute left. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mihe. Thank you for all.
Thank you. Now I'd like to invite us Sophia Sok from Cambodia.
Wait, how can I? Sorry.
Close.
Close, yes.
You can stop sharing. Yes, it works.
Thank you.
Thank
a lot of things, every minute, you know.
It's a learning is endless. So Mrs. Sophia.
Hello, Sophia, and
hello,
I'm very much happy to hand it to you. Good luck.
Thank you so much. Thank you so
much.
This
I'd like to introduce Sophia to our participants. Mrs. Sophia is a sustainable tourism specialist and has extensive experience in the tourism sector in Cambodia, as well as in the Southeast Asian region for more than 14 years, particularly in community-based ecotourism development and planning. She has advised many projects and coordinated local teams in different regions of Cambodia, leading a range of projects related to inclusive ecotourism development, rural development, poverty reduction, gender equity, cultural and heritage management, environmental conservation, and social entrepreneurship. She has been consecutively in dialogue with various international stakeholders, including public, private, civil society, and ground communities. She has designated as the quality and standard expert for ASEAN mutual recognition arrangement on tourism professionals for more than 3 years, from 2016 to 2019 at the ASEAN Secretariat based in Jakarta, Indonesia. So now the stage is yours, Sophia.
Thank you so much, Mihi, for the very nice introduction. So this is a very good platform to meet some old friends. So because, you know, since I was born in this ecotourism sector, so I met with Ghana, with Ari, and this platform has brought us back together to see each other, even though we don't see each other personally, like physically, but at least we could see each other. So I will manage within these time slots. So before I share the lesson learned from Cambodia about the political support on the ecotourism, just a little bit glance of the ecotourism development in Cambodia. It was started in late 1990 in the northeast part of Cambodia. And you can see in this picture, it's a very beautiful volcanic lake and with the ethnic community. I remember when I was still at school in early 2000, there's a lot of NGO, conservation and environmental organization working on the conservation, and then think about the possibility of engaging ecotourism to promote the nature conservation and improve the local livelihood as well as the culture of the local community. So it was initiated from the conservation and environmental NGO at that time. And with the main purpose is to enhance the nature conservation and improve the local livelihood of the community. So it's not different from many other countries that has presented. So then in 2002, to support the community-based ecotourism development in Cambodia, there's a network of community-based ecotourism was established since 2002. So it's the same time that the International Year of Ecotourism, exactly the same period of time. So up to now, according to the National Ecotourism Policy of Cambodia, there are more than 50 CBT and CBET initiative has been established. So Cambodia has a lot of potential for the ecotourism development with the natural resource and biodiversity with more than 57 protected natural area, including the land of more than 7 million hectares, of which there are 12 national parks, 18 wildlife sanctuary, 12 protected landscapes, 7 multiple purpose use area, and 4 Ramsar sites, 2 natural heritage sites, and 3 biodiversity conservation corridor. And also 3 protected forests, mangrove forest, and extensive tropical forest in the Cardamom Mountain, range in which rare animal species were living. Cambodia coastline also very popular, stretched for about 400 kilometers, has become a member of the Club of the World Most Beautiful Bays in 2011, and very rich in plant, sea creature, and biodiversity of around 30 species. And mangrove forest is the biggest mangrove forest in Southeast Asia, covering more than 50,000 hectares. And there are 30 coral species and 33 group and 11 family. And in the northeastern part area have great potential with Plateau National Park, Mekong River landscape, forest waterfall, and mangrove river dolphin, rare species and other biodiversity, especially the ethnic minority. So I don't have a lot of picture to show like the previous presenter, only this beautiful bay in Sihanouk. So this is how Cambodia developed the ecotourism. They have a zone into the 4 main priority zone. This is the map of Cambodia, and so the number 1 is in the northeast part. Number 2 is Tonle Sap and the Mekong River, and then in the north, the southern part along the coast, and one more is the Cardamom Mountain Range. This is the zoning of the ecotourism development in Cambodia. However, with all those potential for ecotourism development, there are also challenges as well in the development. Not so, there are some different and some are quite similar to many other speakers have shared. So we can see that many seabed initiatives are located in protected area. And then the accessibility is very challenging because it's very far and Cambodia is still a developing country. So accessibility and connectivity is very challenging. And also the basic supporting infrastructure are not fully established, even clean water, electricity, and any amenity to support the basic tourism services are not fully established. So it's still very basic. And human resource is also challenging because tourism is not kind of main job for them, but it's a side job for them. They mostly doing agriculture still in those areas. So to rescue people from logging and the farming to tourism service is not easy. And the local community, they really know nothing about tourism, lack of technical skill, and people, even in the city, people are often said that or thought that you don't know anything and then you come to work in the tourism industry. So they came without any knowledge at all. And so it happened a lot that they are on the job training, but actually you really need a professional skill to work in the hospitality industry. So this is happening in Cambodia until now. And also lack of private sector engagement. Like in the previous slide, I mentioned the seabed initiative were initiated by the NGO organization, and they don't really have entrepreneurship idea. So mainly focus only on the conservation and see the potential of the resource. So then initiate the ecotourism activity without any knowledge about the business plan, about private sector engagements in the beginning. So then it leads not very well for the implementation. And community are not open to corporate private sector as well, because since the beginning when the NGO came, initiate the idea of tourism and focus very much on the community development and conservation, but not really open and make them consider that tourism is a business. Tourism is a big business for them, but just more about the community development. So then, like recently, when I was working with the 3 community along the Upper Mekong River, and to develop the master plan for them. And then when discussed to the point about the open to cooperate with the private sector, all the community were a little bit like shocking and a little bit panic, a little bit like so afraid that the private sector will come and take over what they are doing and what they have been doing so far. But actually, it would be a good opportunity for them to learn and also to strengthen their development as well. So also the lack of investment capital at the community level, and not every CPET initiative start with a proper planning. So it's only doing like on the day by day without a very proper planning, like a master plan and so on. And also the market opportunity is also limited, and unique selling point of each destination has not been promoted. So every destination like try to copy and paste from each other of the tourism activity and also the services. So by not trying to see what is the most unique selling point of their community. Yeah. So that was seen as the challenge among many other challenges that happened in the CPET development in Cambodia. So why many of them are not success? Not enough attraction, because in some community they establish as a community-based ecotourism, but really not many things to see or to do, and also lack of creativity make the community become weaker. Like they just say, oh, they have one waterfall, and then they also form as a community-based ecotourism, rather than to make the area become bigger and engage the size bigger, but to make so many small community that not enough attraction, and with the lack of creativity, it doesn't make community work very well. And it's also take time to reach the destination. Like I mentioned earlier, accessibility and connectivity are very challenging here, and lack of the information and marketing and promotion activity as well. So many tourists, they want to visit the community-based ecotourism, but they found it hard to find the information, and also not many marketing have done so far, and also no clear development plan. There's no business plan, and the same like human resource, they don't have enough human resource like a capital, and they developing isolatedly individually without forming a strong networking with each other. So what as the political will to support the ecotourism in Cambodia? So having seen and gone through many challenges and more than 20 years of developing the ecotourism, so at the ministry level, they start to cooperate together, working together like Ministry of Tourism, Ministry of Agriculture, Forestry and Fishery, Ministry of Environment, also including the Ministry of Rural Development, Water Resource and Meteorology, and also public work and transport as well. Because even though it sounds tourism, but without all the relevant ministry, it would not work as well. Especially while Cambodia, the basic infrastructure are not fully established, all the support from the relevant ministry are really important. So in 2018, they have the government has developed the national ecotourism policy for 2019 to 2030. So the vision of the ecotourism policy is to transform Cambodia into a quality tourist destination and a new ecotourism attraction with high competitiveness in the region and the world, by creating ecotourism products that give absorbing and highly quality experience for tourists, so as to contribute to poverty reduction and promotion of natural resource conservation, as well as effective prevention of climate change. So they try to transform the protected area into attraction, and that benefit the local community. So currently they also try to introduce the 4P model for cooperation, public-private people partnership, from relevant line ministry, including building and supporting infrastructure, tourism service provision, skill training, creation of jobs that are relevant to the local people, and finding market for the community, and especially providing capital for investment. The local community, so they can invest and develop the more diverse tourism product in their community. So with the response to the COVID-19 and how to promote the ecotourism, they have formed the committee, the inter-ministry of the relevant ministry to strengthen the ecotourism development. And they also scheduled to meet regularly as well. And the national ecotourism policy, as mentioned earlier, and also currently there are several projects going on, like the tourism destination vision and investment plan, and Cambodia Tourism Landscape Ecotourism Project with cooperation with the World Bank project from 2019 to 2025. In this project in Cambodia with another consulting company, we also try to engage the Asian Ecotourism Network to work on the standard and certification as well, because not only the standard should not only apply for Cambodia, but should be for the region as well to make it stronger. And AN hopefully will be engaged in that project. And other many plans have been developed to support the ecotourism project, like Mundulkiri Tourism Master Plan, Siem Reap Tourism Master Plan, and also along the Mekong River, the many NGOs see the importance of having a proper master plan for the community, and also the roadmap for recovery plan tourism during and post COVID-19. And the government also start to build so many infrastructure to everywhere around the country. So hopefully by 2025, the connectivity to many places, to many destinations will be better. So this will be a very strong support for the tourism development throughout the country. And also the vaccination programs throughout the country. Currently, there are more than 80% have been fully vaccinated, and country is open for all the sectors since mid-November 2021. And to show the world that Cambodia, as well as the Southeast Asia, is ready to welcome tourists back. Cambodia is hosting the ASEAN Tourism Forum from 16 to 22nd the following week in Sihanoukville. So to announce to the world that Southeast Asia is ready to welcome both back. So this is the banner promotion of the not ecotourism, but ASEAN Tourism Forum. And to some lesson learned for better Tibet development through the experience working with many communities. So Tibet initiative is very important to have a good master plan and also good collaboration among the stakeholders, especially engaging the private sectors in the beginning. And also a good plan for capacity building to community, as many community are really lacking of skill. And the most very important is to build the entrepreneurship to the community. Investment plan for the tourism development at the sub-regional level. And like Ghana has mentioned about the zoning for the Tibet development and management are very important. So that's all for my presentation. I hope I managed this time as well. So
You
thank you
managed
so
the
much.
time beautifully.
Yeah, so please stay safe, healthy, and happy. Have a great day to everyone. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sophia. So now I'd like to invite the last speaker of this session, Mr. Samadith Uspala. We have
Hi all, am I audible?
Okay, so I'd like to introduce you. Samadith is a social entrepreneur promoting serial entrepreneurship in Sri Lanka. He is the founder and the CEO of Origini Climate Action Ventures, which creates, support, and promotes sustainable and carbon negative new ventures. He guides and leads many innovative projects recognized at a global level and island-wide. His vision is to create sustainable circular economic hubs in each village of Sri Lanka. The village is value adding to its local resources, and experience-based tourism can be promoted for each village. Sustainability in the sense of people, planet, and profit for the investors, entrepreneurs, or ventures.
Hi all. Hi, thanks a lot for the AE and the UN Asia Pacific and South Asia Regional Office. Ayubowan, I will do greet in my language, and Assalamu alaikum, Wanakam, and welcome. So I am Samadhi Utpala, as you mentioned previously. We are from Sri Lanka, country from Sri Lanka, a small island nation in the bottom of the Indian, in a strategic position of the Indian Ocean. So then, therefore, a lot of geopolitical movements can be happen in the country, from the US, from the EU, from the China, and the UAE itself. I would like to say that. So then, what I'm doing is promoting, as all the people, as introductory section, according to the introduction session introduction that she has given. What I'm doing is I'm supporting and promoting and creating values within my country. I'm an illusionist who can do some illusion. So hope the we would not face for things like happened in previous years, previous centuries, where the illusionists are killed by many political agendas. So then what we are doing is changing in the community, changing the our surrounding fauna, flora, and all the things. I would like to apologize for my broken English, since I'm native Sri Lankan. So then you might understand the situation. So what we are doing is, as previously said, we are creating, supporting, and promoting those kind of ventures which is based on sustainability and carbon negativity itself. We have politicians, social activists, university professors, a lot of people around the country to help us in our motive. So let's see what I have with my slides. Miss, can you please go ahead with my set of slides? Do I need to share my screen?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. Wait. Just give me a second. Is this visible to all you now?
Yes, so we can see your screen now.
Okay. It's we are talking about sustainable and carbon negative Sri Lanka. Why you might think why I select this as a venture rather than going for a kind of a non-profit thing? Just because we are in a VUCA world, very ambiguous, volatile, and fragile world. The COVID is the very first and the best experience we have faced for the particular situation. So economic situations in the most of the countries are going to break due to all the things. So people are moving into the short-term incoming finding things. So FMCGs, crypto, and trading, stock trading as well, kind of things. Therefore, their motive is going for short-term profits and make their they are not going to getting ready for the long term. Therefore, what we as a country, what we have provided is a kind of package for each. So our FMCG handle is from our venture side, ecotourism itself. I would say show you why it should be you should be visit our country. First and foremost, we have a lot of outdoor recreations or outdoor activities. Refers to the leisure pursuits, engage in outdoors, occasionally natural or semi-natural settings of outside of town, were very much not unstable, sustainable, and not very much kind of eco-friendly, I would say. So then, okay, let's move to heritage. Sri Lanka is a country blessed with the philosophies over 2,500 years. That means those philosophies are based on the Indo-Asian nations as such as examples are Buddhism and Hinduism, which the philosophies which are generated in the Himalayas. So you might see the how those philosophies are benefited to our country, which is very sustainable and carbon negative from 2000 over 2500 years. Even more beyond that, there is a kind of a thing, a legend, a myth called Ravana. So it is a folklore history which is written in Ramayana by Valmiki in India. So what we can understand at that particular situation is the our itself is a sustainable and carbon negative country from 2000 and over 2500 years. So that's a one point I want to highlight in this heritage of Sri Lanka. So then let's move to sceneries. If you are digital nomads, please visit Sri Lanka, because we are very small country. You can all see we have only 65,000 and 610 of square kilometers with the our countries. That means we are pretty small. You can travel from our country from one border to another border within 8 hours. So we are very much small, and within that particular area, we have attractions for each and every human in the world. That's the beauty of this island nation. So then, as I previously said before, this is a post-COVID attraction. Those are the stats that we are having with our hand to prove that. See it here. After the before the Omicron variant, there is the newest arrival of tourists for our country is almost 70,000. So once we are taking the stats from the resident top 10 markets, our top 10 markets are Russia, UK, Germany, Australia, USA, France. So you can see how EU and UK and those countries are interested on us, especially the Russia too. Just because of that, the countries such as China and UAE are all always also interested in us just because of that. So then we are a market with multinations. You can see our market will be we are going to be one of the key places to see in around 2030 to 2035. I will promise that. So then okay, let's see what we have. It's to be better wild than boring. That's one of the key statements that I am believing, because I was a previously a researcher. I have some publications on sustainable material and graphene based constructions, which from the scientific side. I have reviewed those and I have published those. So I was bored there with that particular thing. So then I'm moving with the wild and all the things which I love to be, and you can see the surrounding where I am living. So this is a pretty cool place. Not only that, if you are an elephant lover, we have elephants. If you are leopard lover, we have leopard and buffaloes and peacocks, wild bears, boars. You can search that what are the who are the people that kind of animals that living in Sri Lanka. So there are very much large varieties of species in a particularly a small area, and we have coastal around our countries, and obviously a large sea up to the Australia in one side, and other side there are what Arabic Ocean and all. So then, as I previously said to you, our culture is very much vibrant. So you can see some heritage sites from the philosophies which I have previously said before, those sites are older than almost 2000 years. Then miracles which created by previous people who followed those philosophies. So you can see how strong those philosophies are, and the meditation for your self spiritual to enhance your self spiritual values, and a lot of taste is there, and a lot of vibrant culture is around us, and a lot of vibrant experience is with us. And coming to Sri Lanka is once in a lifetime experience. So I like to invite you all to our country, visit us, and let's discuss about digital nomads. Let's discuss about mineral world, mineral economics, where all the digital nomads digital equipments are based on those kind of minerals, where we are enriching with graphite, we are enriching with silica, we are enriching with mineral sands, and we are working on that. Please come to visit us, investors. Let's go forward together. And as I previously said before, there are a lot of experiences, from whale watching, from diving to jet ski riding and meditation, and you can go in a yacht if you want. And obviously we are very much sustainable, so we are creating more inventions. Our scientists are rapidly working with all those things. We are creating more and more inventions to the country. So then if you can search, there are a lot of new inventions and ventures which formed and created by Sri Lankan scientists on the sustainable things, and we are going to we are going to create a sustainable village based on the futuristic buildings, building materials, sustainable building materials. And we are a country which can be mine cryptocurrencies and coin with very much energy low environment. So since our space is very low, we can use circular economic things for each area with very less cost. That's one of the key advantages we are having. Therefore, what we can do is asking all the investors from the airlines, cement, EV manufacturing, apparel to come to Sri Lanka and invest in Sri Lanka, please, because you can create very good kind of country where your carbon and sustainability things is set off with a limited time of space, and you will obviously generate a profit because our since due to our cost is very low, our progress can be very high and very rapid. So that's one of the key advantages we are having. So thanks a lot. So I'm open to the questions. Please ask, and I would like to invite UN and each and every organizations to work with us. Please come to Sri Lanka, visit us. Let's go for a bright future, which everyone can live happily. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Samadis. I really enjoyed Sri Lanka last few years. Every year, at least 3 times, per year I visited. So it's the Q&A session, and we have a few questions already on our chatting screen. So first question from Wita. I think Wita's question is for Ghana. It's about the multi-ministries cooperation. How did they coordinate the cooperation and distribute, their roles? And then what kind of a model it looked like?
Yes, of course. Yeah, since
sorry. This is, I think, for Ghana, the first speaker. So I will back to you if we have a relevant question to you. Okay, thank you very much.
Sure.
Okay, thank you very much, Wita and Mihir. Well, one of my main messages I would like to share with you is how we can able to cooperate with other ministers. Also, how we could able to coordinate between different kind of international organizations. With I don't know about how, I think it's similar in Indonesia, but in Mongolia, for example, the different international organizations have their way of the ideology, hegemony, and actions addressing into the tourism and ecotourism. In the end, local people are users of all of these international projects and ministries. What we have done, number one, is it's a professional coordination sector. We have to believe it, convince it, the politicians. I'm quite good to talk with the politicians because they have their own language, they can speak their own languages. So do not speak with them the language of local people. Let them to raise their interest into the elected area in order to solve their problems. So we have establishing how ecotourism to help support in order to achieve certain particular political person's agenda. And that's why also secondly enforced into the law that next to the Prime Minister, we have established ecotourism discussion group. So which will able to be influenced not only Minister of Tourism, but Minister of the Finance, and especially for us, Minister of Agriculture and SME industry. That's the very, very important. We are a little bit apart from the geographical or only the natural conservationists. We would also like to directly talk with the industry or the business entrepreneurial people. So the conservationists already understand to each other. If we are limited by within this section of the stakeholders, we will be always confronted with the multimillionaires. But they are also people, they have their problems and they have also their issues. So we would like to develop a concept. Ecotourism is not only some kind of only talking about the natural resource, but ecotourism is our way of life and our way of the pattern model. So that's it, Vita. Thank you for question.
Thank you for your also answer. And Vita also wants Sophia to answer to her question.
Yeah, thank you, Mehi. Thank you, Rita, for the question. Yes, I would like to share the experience from Cambodia. As I mentioned, the seabed initiative mostly happened in the protected area. And protected area are under territory of the Ministry of Environment or Ministry of Fishery Agriculture. So that's why the three ministries have to coordinate to work together. Because like when regarding to the service, hospitality is the role of the Ministry of Tourism. But in terms of management, zoning, it's not under the Ministry of Tourism. Ministry of Tourism cannot do all those special planning, zoning, and categorize the area for which zone that can be developed and not developed. So that's why many years ago, I think it's been already like 10 years that the three ministries, they have kind of joint cooperation. We call it a joint broadcast that's signed by the three ministers. So then identify the role and responsibility and how they can cooperate and work together on the ecotourism side. Like for example, the national ecotourism policy was led by the Ministry of Tourism, but also they also involve all the ministry as well. And in terms of infrastructure development, we need, like I mentioned in the presentation, there are also the need from the rural development ministry as well, and the water resource, or all the line ministry that involved, because everything are still very basic, so need a lot of development, a lot of investment, so then also need a lot of line ministry to participate as well. So how they did in Cambodia, they have a joint forecast that's signed by all the ministers, clearly identify the role responsibility of each ministry. And like currently there are several projects, but under one big project, it's called Cambodia Sustainable Landscape and Ecotourism Project, which they get the money from World Bank. It's not the grant, but it's a loan from World Bank, more than 50 million US dollar to operate for like more than 5 years in 2019, but due to the COVID-19, then most of the activity has been postponed, but the activity will last up to 2025. So in that project, it led by Ministry of Environment. So the executive agency is the Ministry of Environment, but they are not doing alone. They always engage Ministry of Tourism as well and other related ministry during the implementation. So even though they have the consultant to do all the work, but during the meeting, they always invite and keep each other informed of the activity going on. And that project, they start to have kind of zoning, the special planning of the community-based ecotourism, identify the hub of the ecotourism development of each region. So which destination or area that can identify as a hub, and how can the investment plan can be developed, you know, what are the investment opportunity, so then they can invite the investor to see the opportunity and possibility to develop. That's why in the last 2 slides of my presentation, there's a lot of things that government have done to transform the protected area into the attractive tourism destination. So through all these projects, slowly and step by step, and also the infrastructure development, and currently there are so many infrastructure like open the construction for the infrastructure supported by the government from Korea as well, you know, to support the road infrastructure to many destinations as well. The bridge, the road construction currently just launched by Korea and Cambodia government. So that's why I said by 2025, most of the infrastructure are quite well established. So it will be a good contribution to support the ecotourism development in Cambodia.
Thank you very much. This is actually quite a big question, you know. So it's also challenging, not only among ministries, among different even private sectors. You know, it's very difficult to engage everyone and then collaborate. So let's move on to the second question. This is from Kiki to Sophia. So what are the measures to bring entrepreneurship to community?
Yes, I have answered her a little bit through the chat as well. Like because like I explained in my presentation, most of the CBAT initiative were initiated by the NGO and conservation environmental organization. So there is no entrepreneurship idea. So they consider as a community development project. So like people visit there because they feel pity or they want to support community, but we want to change the mindset. So it's a business, it's your work, it's your job, you have to do it well. It's not just a side job, you have to do it seriously. You need to make it as a business. That's why entrepreneurship is very important. So if they lack of capital, they lack of skills, so they have to find the possibility, how can they cooperate with the private sector. But at the same time, they have to make themselves strong as well. Otherwise, private sector will take over everything. So what I have recommended the community as well, you know, you need to have a strong guideline showing what the private sector can invest in your community. And you have to make it clear how you share the benefit and how you manage and cooperate with the private sector. So this way, both sides can be win-win. Otherwise, from time to time, the private sector will take the opportunity and take over, and then community will not see the opportunity of the tourism development anymore. So capacity building and building the entrepreneurship idea to the community is very important. Yeah. I hope I answer you, Chie. And I really like what you say there. When there is a will, there is a way. So
Thank
this
you
is
very
a
much.
very, very important concept. Yeah,
Thank you.
and to make the CPT success, we have to start with some people with a good will. They have see the positive, and they have a strong will to participate, and then we can work with this small group and can enlarge it for the future. Because also many community I have seen, they try to engage many people at the beginning, and there's no benefit yet. And start, for example, when they have the community member about like 10 people, and then they engage also the villager that didn't know anything to provide the services like homestay, food services. And while the community member, they don't provide any services. So I recommend them, you have to start with a small group of people and showing to the villager that it works, and later on people will just register by themselves without invitation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, great answer. So the third question from Kuong of Vietnam to Sophia again, you already chat a little bit, but the question is why the Cambodian government to make protected areas as attractive tourism destinations.
Yes, I have explained already when I answered with that question through the project of tourism destination, vision and investment planning, and also the Cambodia Sustainable Landscape and Ecotourism project. So this is how they transform or transfer the protected area into the tourism attractive destination. So it's through the activity of this project, and also with the ecotourism policy as well. Yeah.
Is it enough answer to Kuong? Okay, then now I cannot see any further questions. Do you have any question? Okay, it's from Alva Lambert. Anyone can answer. How is AEN preparing for the influx of new eco-travelers to ecotourism sites, becoming a risk of being overpopulated? Yeah, his worries, about over-tourism in ecotourism destinations. It's not ecotourism then. So who can answer to this question? Is there any preparation?
I will experience. I will share my insight from my own experience on that. So then, what US and China is doing war on the energy materials and all. So obviously there is a war for graphite, since it is the next fuel. So since the EV and all the sustainable trends are coming in, then what happened is the use of the fuels and all the coal energy is going down. With that, we are coming to the age where the graphite, silica, and titanium are going to be the key materials. So that would be the key FMCGs in the tomorrow world. Therefore, in a one side, the China moves to Sri Lanka in a one side, and then US, then what? From US, it's EU and UAE trying to enter from the other side. So that's the thing what we are experiencing in Sri Lanka. From that, we would like to open Sri Lanka for each those big giants, because we want to develop our country after all. So then we would like to invite you all to come in and do some community service projects and trade off things, and invest in sustainable economic and all the circular economic things in Sri Lanka, because this is the fastest land which can be developed under that category. So then, if we are taking the geopolitical movements in the world stage from now to around 2026, it might be go ahead with sustainable and carbon negative. After that, we are expecting another wave of the particular sustainable and carbon negative things in around 2030 or 2031. That's why we need to develop Sri Lanka in 2035. If you are checking our profile, I'm Samadhi Tutpala. I'm working on original climate action ventures in my own. We are targeting to develop our country in 2035. With this movement, we are since we are underprivileged country in aspects of the income per person, but not the aspects of the values that we are having. We are going to make our community enricher by 2035. So then Sri Lanka would be sustainable and carbon negative, both. So I think your question got a practical answer from Sri Lanka.
Thank you very much. Yeah, Sri Lanka is vulnerable because it's an island country and it's small, but it has a rich biodiversity. So I wish great, success through the more the carbon negative economic circular. Yeah. So anyone else to answer? Ghana, Sophia, would you like to answer?
I don't have any additional thing to Sri Lanka. I think it's very good answer already.
So Ghana. Do we have a Ghana?
Ghana's gone.
Oh, he's gone.
I think he's gone. I saw him walking out.
Yeah, during the COVID-19 period, actually, I heard many nature-based, destinations, including ecotourism destinations, could see many visitors they haven't had in the past because everybody want to, have the safer environment. So, and then they also realized, it's the beauty and the value of natural environment. So it definitely the risk we have, unless the government really need to have a strong fist to respond to that, the needs, the demand for ecotourism destination. But I'm afraid because usually the government count not the tourism, but other government the agencies that they, value the successful tourism with the numbers. So then the Ministry of Tourism or the local destination management body, they have a pressure to, show the numbers. So we really need to work on hard how to respond to this issue. Okay, so it's not easy. So I don't think we can finish the answer here. But thank you very much, our three speakers, for your amazing, inspiring speeches. So even though we have a few minutes early for the next session, but I would like to move to the third part of the
I have one more question.
Oh, you have a question?
No, not I received a question.
Okay. Homestay. Okay, we have 3 minutes. So it's from Wendy.
Entrepreneur, may I understand whether community management or cooperative management is more practical for community-based homestay business to be sustainable, please? For me, what I have seen, if community they are capable, they have capital, they can invest, then it's good. It's sustainable. But because what I recommend to the community is also two options. First priority given to the community member and also people in their village. Because when we talk about the community-based ecotourism, it's not only a small group of people involved, but the whole village, the whole commune could be, sometimes can be 10 villages as well involved in the development. So they can involve directly or indirectly through the development. So priority should be given to the community member and then to the village of their community first. And if there's no capital available, then they should open for the outsider, for the private sector from outside their community. So, but if they open for the outsider, they need to have a strong policy, like strong guideline, what to be invest, which level for investment, because otherwise if the community-based ecotourism and suddenly you invest something that too big, the investment is too big, it doesn't match well with the product and service provided by the community. And then later on, people will come only using the service provided by the private sector, but the community service may not work anymore. So this is, I would answer to you. Any question?
We have a comment from Anu Lama. So you can respond to the Sophia. And then we have another question, but we have 1 minute. How do you offsetting your carbon footprinting? Maybe this is to somebody. You mentioned about carbon negative. So could you just give a very brief answer? How you make your the business or tourism negative, carbon negative? Somebody?
Sorry, I apologize from myself. That's kind of an IP thing, intellectual property thing. Since I was a scientist, and I'm working with a lot of scientists and engineers, experienced campaigners over 20 to 30 years who are working with World Bank and some reputed NGOs and all. I would like at this part, we can invent new inventions which can be resulted in a carbon negative, carbon neutrality and all. Then forward we can go for the carbon negativity through the inventions and the carbon trade off. Please consider about plants and all, plants, new digital nomads, equipments and all. Just a tip. I won't go ahead since it will be spoil my IP. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. These days, not only ecotourism businesses, so many businesses, especially they really offset their carbon footprints. And then so far, mostly they charge the carbon offset fee to tourists, but we also have the great the initiative by the one European company. They bear the offsetting the fee from their profits. So I think more and more the responsible businesses, they share this kind of activities. Anyway, it's a time to move to the last part. So thank you very much, all speakers. Okay,
thank you, Lee, for the
thank you.
coordination.
Yeah. Now
Thanks
the
a lot.
last. Thank you.